another MMA talk. Again, I am joined by Isaac Menez, owner, proprietor, overall good guy of Gorilla MMA. And we got a lot to talk about today. We had a big UFC fight over the weekend, UFC 130. Daniel Cormier aimed his heavyweight belt. We got UFC 231 and 252 coming up. And Floyd Mayweather is apparently going to fight mixed martial arts, I guess. It's what they're claiming that it is, even though it's not really that. It's not the full rules, right? They haven't announced the actual rules yet. So, and it's really interesting because he says that he signed, he's ready to go, but they still have not announced what weight it's going to be at because he's generally fighting at 150. I think it was 154 where he fought Conor McGregor, and then his opponent, who's a 20-year-old kickboxer, he generally fights at 120. So that's a pretty big gap of about 30 pounds there, where he's fighting at 150 and his opponent fights at 120. So, I mean, if you can split the difference, you're looking at 135. Well, Mayweather walked out. He started to, frame-wise, he did fight the bigger guy. So, we'll delve a little bit more into this, actually. Let's jump right into it. Let's get back to the UFC. So he's fighting Kenshin Nasukawa. It's going to be happening December 31st. That's a Monday. And it's going to be happening over in Tokyo for Ryzen Fighting Federation. Now, they have not set the rules yet. According to the ESPN article here, it says, although the fight was announced, several key details were not, including the specific rules about the number of rounds, the weight limit, how the fight broadcast will be distributed, and what type of glove they would wear. So it could ultimately be a boxing match. Yeah, it's what this could turn out to be. This could be nothing but a simple boxing match, which let's pretend that it is going to be a kickboxing match. So it's not true mixed martial arts. There's no takedowns. There's no nothing like that. It's strictly standing. Does Floyd Mayweather have a chance against the kickboxer? No, I mean, not really. I don't see any. Like even just the contact, just the legs, just use. Yeah, I know. Sucks. Yeah. Go home with bruised shins. But I mean, even then, like just keeping the kick, it will keep me to be able to move and run and kind of play a team plan. There's been championships won on leg kicks. Forrest Griffin, the whole reason he beat Rampage Jackson was leg kick. Yeah. He just kept working that leg over and over again, and it got to the point where Jackson could not. He could barely stand up. You know, he was getting really gingerly on that front leg, and there's been a lot of fights that have ended with leg kicks. So, and it's national. Is it really? It's like red hair. But so like, what do you think we're in store for here? Like, for me, it seems like the post that he put on Instagram, it just is from Floyd Mayweather. It's December 31st, 2018, Tokyo. It shows him wearing basically the mixed martial arts stuff. Not boxing gloves. They've got open fingers. What's the weight on those? 4 ounce? 4 ounce gloves. But the way that it seems to be coming out, it's almost like, oh, we're going to sign him to this federation, but we're ultimately just going to be a boxing match. Yeah. Well, there's already something like that. It's a judo, the signing part, like kickboxing days. There's no takedown in both kickboxing days. I mean, that has been so much. I don't know why. I don't. It kind of boggles my mind because we talked about it on the air this morning. We talked about if Floyd Mayweather did make that jump to the UFC, he did end up with a Conor McGregor fight. Would that sell more than the boxing match? I mean, you don't think it would sell more? I don't think so. I think it would. Oh, but see, that's why I would buy it. So like that right there, that's totally worth buying it just to see him get the ever crap kicked out of him. So yeah, okay. But then again, but on your point, it could also be there be a lot of people who just wouldn't know, like kind of knowing that outcome and predict. But then again, there's a lot of people who were able to, kind of predict what the outcome was going to be when they boxed, and it was between Mayweather McGregor, and it was exactly what happened. Mayweather played the same game plan he's been doing for years, which is higher amount, and win the decision.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what happened.
Well, but Conor, he was
Conor McGregor.
That dude, he was a little more competitive. He had more of a chance. Mayweather, I mean, you put him on his butt, you take him down.
That's it. You're giving him you're giving McGregor at least a puncher's chance, and the fact that if he were to land one flush, that's it. It's going to be lights out.
I think he specializes in like hard. What's Mayweather? He's gonna run, get back up in the cage, get down.
That's like I still remember. Yeah, when I got to interview Dana White, and I asked him flat out when James Toney was taking on Randy Couture, and Dana White predicted the fight, except he said it was going to be a double leg takedown, and it was a single leg.
Well, with ankle kick.
Yeah, and that was the only difference. But it was he's gonna Couture's gonna do a couple of these things. He's gonna throw the punches. It's gonna be a takedown. It's gonna be a single leg.
Which I mean, for the layperson, you don't understand. Getting ankle kicked in the cage is like getting knocked out with a jab. So that's embarrassing. That's not a great move.
Okay, so basically, we'll keep, the next one, we'll open up some more details on the Floyd Mayweather fight that's coming up on December 31st. But right now, there's really no details. There's the weight class, there's no rules that so, let's backtrack a little bit to UFC over this weekend. The big fight, obviously, a Daniel Cormier defeating Derek Lewis by rear naked choke in the second round. I didn't get to see a lot of that fight. I kind of got to see the first round or half of the first round. But the fight before that, I caught the tail end of it, and it was the Souza Weidman fight.
Oh, yeah.
And that one ended really weird because Weidman got clipped, and you could kind of tell he was out, but he wasn't quite out, and the referee didn't know if he should stop it, and it ended awkwardly.
Yeah, well, that was, oh man, I don't know, bro. I don't know what he was looking at. Weidman hit the mat, back of his head with his hand. I mean, I would have jumped in. I don't know if he was blocked by Dr. Ray's shot or calm down. Sometimes you'll hit the mat, you'll roll up on the knee and pick up the leg or something like that. But I mean, that took a minute, and that was a bad knockout.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did some damage. And I remember watching it, and I was confused. I'm like, what's happening here? But then when he was talking about Daniel Cormier and what's going to be next for him, they were talking about a potential heavyweight fight between him and John Jones, which John Jones actually still has to fight Alexander Gustafsson. We'll fight to that here in a few minutes. But they also have the Brock Lesnar fight, which if they do it, just get it over with because I'm done with Brock Lesnar. I really don't care. He had his time in the UFC. He's just an obnoxious blowhard at this point. And I think the fact that Cormier is even kind of playing into it, it's bringing Cormier down in my book. Like we need to stop making the UFC WWE. It's not. Like, I get it. It's fighting. You want that drama. You want that interaction. You want those fights. You want those rivalries. But not at the expense of it coming off as fake. And, like, the previous fight when Cormier knocked out Stipe, that came off as so phony to me. When Lesnar got into the cage and Cormier and Lesnar were going at it, and like, that came off as so phony. It was almost like Vince McMahon wrote this script for them specifically. And I want them to get away from it because you've already got McGregor flying off the hand. But then again, if these fighters, they're seeing it pay off for McGregor. Like, he's making an absolute ridiculous amount of money. He's banked on that Mayweather fight. Basically with his mouth, and then also, the last fight he had against Pete that he lost. So, they're all kind of seeing that the dramatics and really selling these fights with these rivalries is what's selling tickets, what getting the pay-per-view buys, and it's also what's getting them to pay it.
I think the heavyweight, there's not as much athleticism in the United States. If there's a heavyweight in any combative sport, I mean, there's a better chance to like the most athletic heavyweight in that sense of playing the sport.
Yeah, that's why you had the Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson season of the Ultimate Fighter, and they had the heavyweights. A lot of them were former football players.
Yeah,
that came over and switched to the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, it's really but you don't see the level of athleticism in that with the lighter weights, I mean, people flying around each other in the air and doing all this. Demetrius Johnson was like sit down flying armbar. That's never been seen before. Heavyweights are gonna fly each other down, knock each other out. Okay, that's cool, but nothing too spectacular. They have to sensationalize it with all the dramatic.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we're talking about John Jones and everything like that. And speaking of Demetrius Johnson, he was just actually traded by the UFC to one championship, which that's the first time I've ever heard of a fighter being traded.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we'll swap out, this guy for this guy. It seems very odd, especially considering Demetrius Johnson has been considered pound for pound one of the greatest fighters, if not the greatest fighter, for a while now. But the UFC to allow him to leave it. But then again, that was the problem with him, is that he was considered pound for pound the greatest fighter, but didn't sell. Like, even when he was defending his belt, sometimes he wasn't even the headlining fight. Like, he was sometimes just co-headlining.
He's not marketable. As a person, he's not marketable. I mean, he's awkward. He's not very funny. He doesn't have a great personality.
He needs to go throw a dolly through a damn bus window.
And he's funny looking too. I mean,
some ears.
Yeah,
got that cauliflower ear going on. So next up for UFC, we got UFC 231. That's going to be coming up. It's going to be in Toronto, Canada, on December 8th. So we're about a month away from it. That one, the big fight, you got Max Holloway, the champ, taking on Brian Ortega. I think you're looking forward to it.
Oh man,
so who are you? Not even okay. We'll get to that question next. What are you looking forward to? What makes you excited?
That's like a technician thing. That fight is a technician thing, in that both guys are exceptional at different things, but they're also really good at their other things. Mm-hmm. So it's a chess match. And it's as a coach and as a retired fighter, and essentially analyze. It's one of those things that we're gonna walk away with a tremendous amount of information to coach and to use it. Mm-hmm. It's really important.
We got Max Holloway. He's coming off victory over Jose Aldo. Two victories over Jose Aldo, actually. He hasn't fought. It'll be about a year since Max Holloway fought. He was booked for something a few months ago, and I believe he had to back out due to something happened with Max Holloway. And then if you're looking at Brian Ortega, and I believe it's a 12-fight win streak for Max Holloway as well. Brian Ortega is undefeated. He's got 1 no contest. He's always going to be contested contest for Really? Apparently, this happened at UFC on Fox back in 2014. That was the 1 no contest that came up. But most recently, he's got a victory over Frankie Edgar by knockout. He submitted Cub Swanson. He's also fought guys like Blake Lita, all the way there. And he's relatively new. He's only got 14 total fights, but he's 14-0.
Yeah. Well, that Cub Swanson was so impressive. He was midair. He was hanging on with one arm and was able to block. That's on guillotine. And that's one of those things too. Holloway pulls off these things as a striker, where he's so precise and yet really, really quick to finish. So it's just gonna be a really fun. It's kind of a grappler versus striker matchup, but the 2018 where everybody's well versed in the new and so it's really cool.
Well, that fight with Brian Ortega when he took down Cub Swanson, that got performance of the night and fight of the night at that UFC fight night, and they were the headliners for Swanson. And that was about a year ago, December 9th, 2017. So actually, it'll be 356 days from that. But he's also fought since then. He fought Frankie Edgar earlier this March. So, no, let's not do a prediction yet for this one. We're gonna have you come back in. We'll try to do an MMA talk on December 7th. We'll do that Friday before fight. We can do the after prediction. And we have a big one here coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about this one. It's the big UFC 232. This is the one that I'm looking forward to because you got the rematch of Johnny Bones Jones and Alexander Gustafsson. And Bones Jones, he's becoming into that Brock Lesnar category for me, where it's like, okay, you just need to stop. Like, you've been busted for recreational drugs, you've been busted for performance enhancing drugs. Like, they keep talking to him about Daniel Cormier, and he keeps talking about, oh well, I've already defeated him, and he's never beat me. But he failed drug tests after he beat him. So, like, for me, you don't get those victories.
Yeah,
like that's not something that you can really brag about. The fight between Gustafson and Jones could have gone either way. I mean, it was super close, but it was a split decision that Jones ended up winning, and now they got the rematch. And as they came out, they did a press conference where Jones and Gustafson, they came from each side. They did the square up, and then as they turned to the crowd, Jones stepped in front of Gustafson. Gustafson stepped in front of Jones. Jones steps in front of him, and then Jones pushes Gustafson. And it's to the point now where for Jones, like, dude, you just need to shut up and fight. I mean, like, he hasn't fought in. Good board. When was the last time he fought? It was the no contest, and this was from over a year ago. It was July 29th, 2017, when he defeated Daniel Cormier, and it was by a knockout. But it was overturned because he tested positive for drugs.
He's saying that too. I think he realizes that he doesn't. He lost a lot of interest. And then just being an actor itself, he did get bored. And he just kind of built himself up in that way. And then Justice is kind of a boring guy. He doesn't talk much. He's not very. I think yeah.
And then you have, before it had been kind of lengthy spans between Jones's fights. When he defeated Vitor Belfort, that was in 2012. He had a couple of fights in 2013, but after that, it was April of 2014, January of 2015, and April of 2016. He was looking almost a year in his life at that point. Pretty slow for a champ and a guy who's marketable at one gun.
Well, a lot of that's
yeah, that's exactly why. So the other big fight for UFC 236 is that you have Chris Cyborg taking on Emmett. And we briefly talked about this in the last interview. Who do you got in this? How do you see this going?
Honestly, I think because of popularity, but I have Nunez as
Really?
Yeah, I think she can outlast her. I don't think Cyborg's gonna knock her out. Nunez is a big fighter. She's gonna take a hit. She's not gonna get bullied. As strong as Cyborg. And she's a little more technical. She's a little more. Again, we're talking about he's more versed in what they need to know. I think Nunez is doing that too. So he's gonna get good.
Well, and then real quick here, we'll wrap up the stock. So the Ultimate Fighter still going on. You've got the heavyweights and you've got the women's featherweights that fight at 145. And they're getting down to where they're about to be the semifinal. And the kind of a consistent pattern you're starting to notice is the ground game is definitely winning a lot of the fights that are happening. Where a person might be a solid striker, but there was one fight that was 2 weeks ago where the guy was looking tired, he was swinging blindly, and the guy just comes in, take down, and it's 2 rounds, kind of not even really grounded, really just kind of ground and hold him down. That's kind of what's happening. So it's if you were to be a coach and you were running into that, and you saw that coming, and you were looking at somebody who's specifically a striker and is going against specifically a grappler. Let's say you've got a month to prepare for that fight. What are you working on?
Long balls, it's on defense, and if you get the mat and scramble up, bounce up, and push up, push the head away, you got distance and you scramble up, and in those exchanges, you lift them up. So a lot of times, people were playing with that mindset. They're thinking that. They're thinking, things levels, not thinking sometimes that watch out that right hand, that's exactly, and that's how I actually win a lot of my fights. I was tough to keep that.
Try to clip them while they diving in at you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, however, whatever space you can generate for it.
I mean, that's kind of how Cormier took down Stipe Miocic. They were kind of in a grapple, standing up, and it was really, and he even admitted it in the post-fight interview he was talking about. Everybody knows that Stipe, when he comes out, his chin is up, and that's exactly what happened. Is when they went to push away, Stipe's chin was up, and it didn't take a lot. It was just a nice short, quick pop, and it dropped him.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not ready for it. Because again, you're grappling, the mindset's different. You don't have, you're not gonna roll the punch.
And that's another guy who kind of been pushed to the wayside here is Stipe. He was a pretty solid champion for a while. The fact that they vaulted Derek Lewis as quickly as they did for a championship fight seemed to be a bit of a too soon to do that, especially coming off that terrible fight that he had a couple of months prior, where it was like arguably one of the worst heavyweight fights, where there was under like 50 total punches thrown for the entire fight. But so from there, he fought 1 month ago, and then they vaulted him immediately to a championship fight against Daniel Cormier. And when they did that, I mean, you could tell that from the clips that I've been able to see of the fight, because something came up, I wasn't able to watch that fight. But from what I've seen, like, it went exactly how you thought it was going to go down, where you knew that Cormier, being a wrestler, was going to be able to take him to the ground, and as long as he can avoid the punches from Lewis. And then Cormier even said that he got him to once. That was more than enough, because Derek Lewis was a lot of weight behind the punches. I mean, that's just thunder coming from that guy. So
he actually missed the heavy. The first time around.
Too heavy?
Yeah, he's a few ounces over, but that's
what's that? Was it 265?
265. How big of a team do you know?
Yeah, that's a big dude. So this is how we'll wrap up this MMA talk. One of the things that they brought up in the Ultimate Fighter is one of the women. She's big on the bigger side, and at one point, I think the morning before the weigh-in, she was pushing it like 150. She had to get down almost 5.5. And they show her kind of all the different things they're doing. They're putting in the sauna, which is kind of cool. The team was in there with her, and the coaches kind of helping her through it. And then the other one where she's on the ground, completely wrapped in towels, and it's just you got like the little nose poking out, breathe, and then the rest is completely wrapped up and sweating her ass off. What's the most weight you have ever had? And in what kind of time span? Like, is it like a lot of time? Or
I've made 155 when walking around at 185, but I had a couple days to do getting, and that was tough. But I made it.
What weight was the 20 pounds that you get to? Was that the 155?
The 155. Yeah.
Last minute fight?
No, yeah. Yes and no. Most of my fights were last minute. So, you kind of, back then, you kind of pick whatever came up.
And you made the weight.
I made the weight.
Did you win the fight?
I won the fight.
Ah, the kid.
Yeah.
Let's jack.
34 seconds too.
Hey, there you go.
I think if I had gone any longer, I was not doing good.
So when it came to your weight cut, what were some of the techniques that you were using? Is it sit in the sauna? Is it run in a sweatsuit? Like, what kind of?
I really like running off the weight. The sauna didn't really work for me too well. Again, back in the day when we didn't have the resources, I just didn't know. I was in my car with the heater on.
I was gonna say with the heater on in the El Paso heat.
Yeah, exactly. I would go run in the parking lot and then come back and sit in my car some more, and really whatever you do. And then just fill water with the antenna and talk to you later and kind of go out and also the boys. Right.
I know it's another one that kept showing her doing in this most recent episode of The Fighter is just kind of sweating it out, spitting it out, like everything. At one point, she started crying, and I was expecting those coaches to be like, "Yeah, keep doing that.
Yeah, right.
That's more weight. The more you cry, that's more weight coming out of your eyes." All right, cool. So we've got UFC 231 coming up December 8th. We'll try to do another MMA talk coming up on December 7th, so that we can talk about that fight, and then we'll get the official predictions for Isaac for the Max Holloway Brian Ortega fight. We also have Valentina Shevchenko and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. They're also the kind of co-headlining fight on that one. So we'll get the official predictions on that one, and then of course we have UFC 252 coming up at the end of December, and then hopefully within a month we'll have some more details on the Mayweather fight. It's popping up in just a couple months. It's happening New Year's Eve on December 31st.
Why is this board running these things?
I don't know. Like it seems like just an odd play that he picked this random federation that almost nobody had heard of. Like people know of Invicta, Bellator, some of the lesser known ones. Obviously, UFC think so. But then to have that happen, where he books it, but then to have no weight, no rules, like a lot of these things. Because the kid that he's fighting, if you watch some of his fights, he's badass. Like he's a 20-year-old kickboxing badass. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of rule set they come through with, because my gut's telling me that they're basically going to make the boxing, and that's not what I want to see. That's going to bore the crap out of me. What I would pay to see is legitimately Floyd Mayweather in the octagon. But the difference between a boxer like him and a boxer like James Toney going into the octagon, Floyd Mayweather's pure defense. He's about making you miss and tiring you out. You can't really do that if he takes you down. Whereas with James Toney, he at least had that chance in his right hand. Where if he was able to clip Randy Couture with that right hand, it's lights out, fight's over. But for Floyd Mayweather, when it comes to an actual mixed martial arts match, I don't see him having any kind of a skill set to get a victory. Like he's not going to knock anybody out, and would he actually be able to defend a takedown?
Unless he's just secretly trained with these wrestlers
for years and years and years.
We didn't know about. I mean that's okay, cool. That's
yeah, and that's why I think that this thing it made headline news because the headline was Mayweather to fight MMA, but that's not the reality of it. It's not necessarily mixed martial arts. It's really just he's literally it's a fight where they're just picking their own moves.
Yeah,
really what it is over in Japan because it's he can't fight mixed martial arts. Yeah, as far as we know, I mean, if he has the tools, sign up with the UFC. But on that note, hopefully we'll have some more. Again, thank you to Isaac, Gorilla MMA, located out in Stillman Park. If you want to get a hold of you, what do they do?
915-960-07 or Instagram @
and hit them up. You may occasionally see me out there when I can actually make it out there. The kids are nuts. But yeah, head on out. They do. You've got striking, you've got stand up, you've got grappling, and if Mondays and Wednesdays are
Wednesday we have grappling, girls grappling. That's at 8. We have Thursday, boxing, class on Monday through Thursday,
and that's kids are now a combination of both. Like you're like the kids are being taught everything. It's not because before you'd have like a kids boxing class with grappling class, and now it's all combined into one.
Yeah, it's MMA. So we're bringing up these kids to its own martial arts. It's MMA,
and it's a pretty good span of kids that are out there too.
Yeah.
As far as the age group goes. So if you got a wild kid, you need to expend some energy. By all means, bring them out here because it's a great workout. It expends their energy, and it also discipline, which is I think something needed for especially a kid who is just they're not a bad kid. They just they have a lot of energy. They don't know how to expend it. So this teaches them this is how you can do it. This is how you can do it in a constructive way, and you're learning something. It's not just or especially being an adult. Like you're not just like I'm going to go put some iron. God, that's great, but do something. Learn something. Learn an actual skill set while you're
I'm a warrior kid.
He does, trust me, watch it. Yeah. Like, it wears me out just watching them, and I'm just warming up with them. So, thanks again, Isaac. On that note, we'll see you guys in about a month or so.